Hello Prep 2. Today is such a grey and miserable day here. I hope that when you watch this it might be a little bit nicer outside. But today I thought I would come and talk to you about inspiration. Okay, now some of you might be thinking, what does inspiration mean? Inspiration, and this comes from a dictionary definition, says the act or power of moving the mind or emotions. And I think that is a really great definition. I don't know about you, but this week I felt a little bit uninspired. I felt a little bit grumpy, a little bit miserable, and like I've got no ideas floating around in my head anymore. And I think that's probably due to the situation that we're in at the moment. And it got me thinking about all the things that inspire me, all the things that give me ideas, all the things that have the power to move my mind or my emotions. So all of the things that make me feel something very strongly. And I have put together a little inspiration mood board this afternoon, and it's cheered me up a bit actually. I will attach it to our assembly so that you can have a closer look. I've got it on my laptop, but you probably can't see it very clearly. It's very brightly coloured. And on my inspiration board, I have put down all the things that give me ideas, that I go to if I feel like my head it's got a bit fuzzy on the inside and I need a few ideas to make me feel inspired to do something different or to make me feel slightly more happy. So on my inspiration board here, I have got lots of different things from all different parts of my life. I have got things that I enjoy to look at. So I've got lots of bright colours and lots of patterns. You know me, I love a bit of rainbow. I like some bright colours. I like big bold patterns. So I've put those there. And I noticed in the patterns that I'd chosen, a lot of them had flowers and images that might come from outside. And it made me think, I really love going outside, and that's a bit difficult at the moment. So that might explain why my head feels a little bit fuzzy. And I've got pictures on there of trees. You know, when you look up, when you're standing under some big trees in the woods, I really like that feeling. And I've got pictures of flowers and some wildlife as well. Things like that make me feel very, very inspired and happy. And then I've got some pictures. I've got some photographs of all different places that I have been. Now some of these are not they're from quite a long time ago, before Olive was born actually, most of them. But I've got a lovely picture of Olive, of when we went for a walk one day. And then I've got pictures from places I've been to all over the place really. I've got pictures from America and from Europe, in Holland and in Norway and in Germany, and places in England too, places that I have felt really happy when I have gone to visit. And they give me so many ideas, because in those places I tend to go and look at different things I wouldn't look at normally. Go to museums and galleries. Those places make me feel so happy, and they fill me with lots of inspiration. Now you know me, Prep 2, I love things that when I'm making them. I love making things, I love doing things, I love arty things. So I really enjoy going to museums and to galleries to get some ideas for things that I can make and do. So I've got pictures on my inspiration board of some artwork that I really love, and I've got pictures from museums where there's really old objects, some things from ancient Egypt, which is my favourite. And I've got a picture of a big old Viking ship, which was very cool to go and visit. And then I've got some other things that often I do when I'm at home, and I love to make things, as I mentioned, and I often get ideas for those things when I'm out and about and I'm looking at other things as well. That's what inspiration is. So I've got pictures of me doing different things and things that I've made. I like to knit when I'm at home. Can any of you knit? If you can't, this might be a good time to learn. There's lots of time to practice. So I've got a picture of me knitting a scarf while I'm wearing a big scarf. It's a bit of a silly picture. I've got a picture of Olive wearing an outfit that I knitted for her and a baby blanket that I made for her. And it made me think, I really like teaching people how to make and do things like I do with you guys at school. And I like to do that with Olive too. So I've got a picture of Olive in the garden painting a picture from just a few days ago when we had lots of sunshine. And it made me feel so happy to have a look through all these things that really give me inspiration, but they make me me. They make me who I am. So I'm going to set you a bit of a challenge this week, Prep2. I would like you to come up with your own inspiration board. Now, it doesn't have to be exactly the same format as mine. You could do yours in any way that you like. You could do it as a list. You could cut out and stick pictures, whether that's photographs or pictures from magazines or newspapers, things like that, things that you've drawn for yourself. Maybe you could draw it as a cartoon. Maybe you could get pictures off of the internet and turn it into a document in the same way that I have on my computer. And it got me thinking, all of this talk of inspiration, and it made me think, well, I remember what it was like when I was your age and I felt really inspired. And one of the things that inspired me most when I was your age was books. I loved reading books and I loved watching films. And my dream when I was your age, when I was about 6 or 7, was I was desperate to be an animator for Walt Disney. Well, that didn't happen, did it? And that's okay, because we can have dreams that don't always come into reality. But with those skills, I did lots of practice because I was so desperate that I wanted to be an animator for Walt Disney. I would sit and I would draw and draw and draw and draw. And I would copy drawings and I would make up my own because I was determined that I was going to do that. And you know, at school we always say, don't we, that practice makes perfect, or practice makes really good. And that's what you need to do. Find something that inspires you and keep working at it, keep practicing. So my things that I really enjoy tend to be arty things and creative things. It might be different for you. It might be that you are so interested in nature, or you might be really interested in building things and engineering. You might be really interested in science and how things work. All of those things are fantastic for inspiration. I'll tell you a little story. When I was a little girl and I was a similar age to you, I've got a little brother. Well, he's not very little anymore, he's much taller than me. But when we were little, my brother is quite different to me, and he was really into science and non-fiction books and finding out how things worked. And one day he was a bit naughty and he unscrewed all of the door handles in my mum and dad's house because he wanted to find out how they worked. Don't do that at home, it's very naughty. But he would always practice how working on things, and now he's a grown-up, he's an engineer. So these things do work out sometimes as well. Now, I thought I would show you something that my mum found for me not so long ago, and it is a painting of a duck. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. Well, that painting of a duck I did when I was about 7 or 8 years old. And it's quite a simple painting, but I remember being so proud of it. I'd done it on a canvas and my mum had taken it to the framers and she actually got it framed for me. So you can see the big label on the back there, and it proves how old it is because it cost 65p to have it framed. It costs a lot more than that today. But I just thought it was fun to show you something that I did when I was your age, and I've still got it now because I was so proud of that. And it's actually inspired me to get a little bit of arty stuff done this weekend. You might find inspiration in books. And I know some of you in the class have got some of the books from this series. And it's a collection that I want to start for us at home as well. And this one is all about an artist called Frida Kahlo. And I just thought I'd show you some of the pages from this book, because Frida Kahlo was an amazing artist, and she's got quite an interesting story. So shall I read it for you now? Okay. Frida Kahlo was born in Mexico. Just by looking at her, you could see that she was special. When she was at school, she got really sick. The illness made her leg as skinny as a rake. But Frida didn't complain. She was different. She liked to dress differently too. Then one day, A bus Frida was riding crashed into a car. Life as she knew it changed forever. After her accident, Frida had to rest in bed. To help the hours pass, she drew pictures of her foot. Then, even though she was still in pain, Frida decided to draw self-portraits using a mirror. Painting by painting, Frida and her art got better. It was time to show her pictures to somebody else. She visited the famous artist Diego Rivera, who couldn't believe his eyes. He wasn't sure what he liked more, her pictures or her. Frida and Diego fell in love. They were so similar and yet so different, but through their ups and downs, Diego encouraged Frida in her paintings. Through her wonderful pictures, Frida spoke about how she was feeling. In some she looked sad, but in others she smiled. Eventually, Frida decided to show everyone her work. Her pictures caused a great stir in New York City. When the exhibition came to Mexico, Frida was so ill she had to be in bed, but it was clear that nothing could stop her from painting, not illness, pain or heartache. Frida Kahlo taught the world to wave goodbye to bad things and say, "Viva la vida," live life. And there's some pictures of the real Frida Kahlo. Now, I hope you enjoyed looking at this book. I really love this series. There's lots and lots of different people that you might find inspiring. I think the next one that I want to get on my list might be Georgia O'Keeffe, but it could be the one that has just been released about David Attenborough. Okay. Maybe you've got one of these books at home, or maybe you've got somebody that you find really inspiring. I would suggest that this week, especially if you're feeling a little bit grumbly, like I have been, you look up somebody that you find inspiring, or look for inspiration everywhere around you. Maybe your inspiration is dinosaurs, maybe it's mermaids, maybe it's unicorns, maybe it's science, maybe it's space. I don't know. Everybody has their own things that inspire them. But this week, I want you to try to feel inspired and seek out that inspiration if you can. So your challenge, as I said, is to create your own inspiration board. Now, it's not something you have to share with me, but if you would like to share your inspiration board, I would really love to see it. This week, we've got lots of fun things to do. In maths, we've got some practical activities, such as weighing and measuring with recipes if you want to. And we've got things like liquids that you can measure. We've got some lovely artwork with a safari picture, and we've got loads of other really fun stuff to do. So I look forward to seeing you at our Zoom meeting. It's on Thursday this week, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what work you come up with this week, Prep 2. I'll see you soon. Bye.